I have a tool for you that will completely change the way that you look at stress. It potentially will actually make you excited or at least feel a great sense of agency over how you deal with stress. And I'm really excited to share that with you. My clients have reported that when we work through this model, it really helps them change their thinking, and it is something that they carry forward as they continue to deal with stresses in life, and that they find it to be very effective. So I'm Miranda Walichowski. I'm the principal and founder of Mirror New Coaching and Consulting, where we work with leaders and their teams to increase their energy, engagement, execution, so that they can have excellence. So here's the tool. Let's take a couple of steps back so that you can understand it even better. So think about when you were a child and you were walking along a sidewalk. And did you ever play this game where your intention was not to step on the crack? I know my children will do that. We go for a walk and somebody will invariably say, let's not step on the cracks. And when you do that, if you relate that to the stress construct or this visual that I'm sharing with you, stepping over a crack on a stable, flat, smooth surface, there's really no stress there. It's not difficult for most anyone to do at all. There's no risks. You're definitely equipped to do that. And so it's a very, very simple activity. And therefore, when we have stressors in life that are easy, stable, smooth, we are well equipped to deal with, the stress then becomes very, very minimum, if even existent at all. So that is very, very low stress. And I correlate that image to that visual. Let's go up a notch. And so if you were walking and had to traverse a big pothole, now stress is going to be slightly elevated because you may question your ability to have the right gait that you need to be able to walk over the pothole. If you're wearing heels, I know that'll cause stress for me for sure. The idea of even losing the cap of my heel, and there's potential to twist your ankle. And so here, stress becomes elevated a little bit because there's more risks, there's less stability, there's less known factors, a little bit more ambiguity in this situation, all of those things. And so therefore, stress increases a little bit. The same thing in our life. If we are dealing with something that we don't feel quite fully equipped to deal with, then stress is going to go up. If there are threats that start coming up, then stress will go up. Even if the danger is pretty minimal, stress again will be elevated, more so than from the first example. So now let's take it all the way. And so just imagine this visual. You are standing at the precipice of a mountain or a cliff, and you are there at point A, and you desire to be at point B. And so the distance between where you are and where you want to be is a great factor in producing stress. Not only that, the distance as you look down, in other words, the threats or the risks, also augment your stress. So the steeper the fall into the valley, then the greater the stress will be. And so when I share this with my clients, we work through it in a coaching situation in terms of looking, how can we mitigate risks? How can we create a shorter distance in terms of a fall if there were a fall to occur? And so we explore whatever issue that they are dealing with, leadership, relational, whatever it may be. And we create what in essence are mitigators of that risks. So what are the things that you can do so that if things go sour, if things go wrong, if things don't go your way, it's the coming back from it, the damage that'll do, the consequences that it'll have will be much less and much more tolerable. And we work through those things. And so now we've brought the distance of the valley up, and so the fall isn't so deep and steep. And then the next thing that we do is we look at ways to close the gap. And so what resources exist? What solutions have you not tried? Who could help you in this situation? What do you need to do to be able to deal with this situation, equip yourself a little bit better so that it doesn't seem so insurmountable. And so we go through all of that process. It's rather an iterative process, going back and forth as we explore minimizing risks and also leveraging solutions, closing the gap, thinking about resources and all of that. And you can literally feel the energy shift in these conversations as, again, the possibility for falling into a steep fall and having to step over quite a big gap just begins to narrow. And in essence, what we end up doing in that coaching session is creating a nice bridge that will help them traverse in a very safe way to the destination that they desire. And so I'd like to invite you to use this visual the next time that you are dealing with stress. Stress is not necessarily a bad thing. Stress can be leveraged for good. It can give us the energy that we need to execute on something important, that sense of urgency. We grow under stress and under those challenges that stress presents if we are willing to and desiring to accept that. And so therefore, reframing the way that we look at stress and our relationship with stress could be very helpful in your life. Not only that, as you begin to mitigate risks and close the gap by having ideas for resources and for solutions and all of that, your brain is going to feed you an opportunity to have a dopamine hit. And that dopamine hit is then going to create exactly what you need to be able to take the next baby step towards your solution. So standing on the precipice, just looking at the risk factors of the fall and looking at how big the distance is from where you are and where you want to be is not going to be helpful at all. It's just going to augment stress, anxiety, depression. And so again, take this exercise, and I'd love to hear from you. If you don't mind coming back or sending me a private message here on the YouTube comments or connect with me on LinkedIn, I'd love to hear how you use this visual and how it helped you leverage your stress. I hope that this was helpful to you. I look forward to seeing you again. And until then, be well.